We are the members of group number 10. Myself, Mahesh Chari.
Rishi Desai, Shiksha Sarpar.
Okay, we have taken a small lesson from standard 6, air supports burning. So to begin with our orientation, I would like to tell you one small story that many years ago, people did not have access to warm and comfortable homes like ours. They lived in caves which were very dark and very warm. So one day it so happened that a strong wind started blowing and people were sleeping inside the cave. So due to strong wind, there was one small tree near the cave which was having very dry branches. So those dry branches strike each other due to the wind speed and they catch fire. So that fire flames which emerged from the tree, they entered inside the caves due to wind which was blowing. And the people inside the cave, they experienced a phenomena wherein air was supporting the burning. They were not knowing anything about burning, air and all. So they just experienced one of the new phenomena. And that was air supports burning. So the conceptualization will be described by teacher.
Possible question from student side. To support this concept, we are going to show them one small video. Link is already shared on the group. In that video, 2 candles are there. Glass, that activity here we are going to demonstrate. Possible question only I will read. Why the candle inside the glass extinguishes? Why the candle outside the glass keeps on burning? What supports burning? Then hypothesis, something is required for burning. Okay, for the investigation part, the students will be provided with 2 candles, a glass and a lighter. And with that, they have to first light up the candles. Teachers can light the candles for them for safety reasons. And after that, we will cover 1 candle with this glass. And then we observe the flames. Yes, so gradually the candle inside the glass extinguishes. Now what we conclude from it, sir will explain.
From this experiment, we come to know that air is essential for burning. Okay. So as the candle outside was getting enough air, it kept burning. Once air stopped, the candle stopped burning. Okay. Any discussion part will be taken by teacher.
This phenomena you can relate to day-to-day phenomena. For example, if any one of you for cooking using लाकडा बीन जाल्यार आमी 1-2 लाकडा घालता बरो पेटपाक खूब घातल्यार कितें जाता पालवता. So you can relate it directly without knowing the principle. Also our forefathers, they were relating this. Thank you. Any other question?
Good morning all. We are group 5 and my name is Reshma Malik Nada and my team members
myself is Deepak Pirankar.
So my name is Nehal Hade. It's actually good afternoon, I think so. I'm so sorry. So let's consider this is 8th standard students, this is 8th class and we are performing some activities in front of you all. Before start that, I would like to ask some questions to my dear students. Is that okay? Okay. Thank you. So, being a part of to be fit in our life, okay, we do many activities. Yes? What we do every day to be fit? Yoga, yes, very good. Walking, very good. Yes, so many activities, sports, okay. When you go for walk, we go on, where you go, means where do you like to go for walking? Yes. Sorry? Park, we go, beaches, no? So when you walk there, where would you like to go walking for most of the places? Like we like to go road or we like to go beaches? Beach. Okay. Where you feel means where you feel easy to walk, on the roadside or beach side? Roadside. Okay, fine. So why it is so?
Wow.
It's easier to walk on road. Yes. So for that we are performing some activities here. You have to see the activities and just see the changes what is happening here in these activities.
Just please see these activities. This ball is moving on the rough plate. Smooth surface. And second case is moving on the rough
surface.
What is the difference between these two? The movement of the ball. It is faster. Any more?
Speed decrease on rough surface.
Direction change.
Which ball?
You all have to answer whatever you are asking the question. You have to answer the answer to your questions. On rough surface, friction is more. Another activities, we want two girls or two students. So here we are just putting a cloth on the floor. We are just pulling it. So only one side. Leave sir. You sir. Okay, just pull it. Okay. Now second, just like. Sit here. Now you can pull. So what is going on in this second activity? What the changes you can see?
There was no weight before.
Now second time when she is pulling, it is heavier. Okay.
More friction taking.
So, what do you think? In the first activity, why the ball moves faster on that smooth surface and slowly on that rough surface? Yeah. So, due to more friction on the rough surface, like, so what is friction actually? This is. Low surface is actually plain like this. Okay, it has some irregularities on it. So when the two surfaces they come in contact with each other, the irregularities fit into each other like these irregularities, friction occurs, or we call that friction. So the irregularities are more on the rougher surface. On the smooth surface notebook, there are less irregularities, and on the sand, you can observe it with your naked eyes only. There are so much irregularities. So due to more irregularities, there will be more friction, and thus this ball moves smoother on that notebook, and it becomes tough for it to move on that sand. So this was about the first activity. But what do you think about the second activity? You observed that, what do you observe in the second activity? What did you observe in the second activity?
Required more force. Rather than a block. So the friction was more.
Huh. So why do you think that friction was more when she was sitting on that cloth?
Because the weight of the
Yeah, right. It was because of the interlocking. So one of the factor which was affecting friction was the smooth and rough surface. That is the nature of surface. And the other factor is the pressing between the two surfaces. Like as I said, these two surfaces interlock with each other. If it is like this, there will be less friction. But if I press this more, it gets more tightly interlocked, and that creates a greater friction, right? So similar thing was there when the cloth was just lying on the floor. The interaction between the cloth and the floor, it was less. The interlocking was less. But when a girl was sitting over it, or when weight was put over it, the interlocking, there was more pressing between these two surfaces, which means more interlocking, and thus it created a greater friction. Understood? So that was about the two factors affecting friction. Thank you.
This is a topic for standard 7th, okay? Yesterday, I'll introduce myself. I am Sibelia Fernandez. With me, my teachers are...
I'm Mrs. Laksha Raigar.
Myself, Nisha Sawant. My name is Suma Naik.
My name is Sanita Mishra.
And we are going to start our lesson. Yesterday, Rahul from our class is talking there. He borrowed a pencil from his friend Karan because he had not brought a pencil. So, and by mistake he took the pencil home. So when he was sitting at home on the at the table doing his homework, his mother brought a glass of water for him, and playfully he just put the pencil in the water. When he put the pencil in the water, he got little surprised and scared. He thought that his friend's pencil had broken. And then he took it out again, and the pencil looked to be fine. And he was little surprised. And there were many questions going on in his mind. So he kept doing it, and every time he put it in the water, it looked like it was crooked or broken. And then he realized that the pencil is not broken, but there's something happening. So with this question in mind, he went for a party in the evening. And in the evening, for his friend's birthday party, there was a magician. And that magician was doing many magic tricks. And there was one particular trick that this boy, Karan, he was very much interested in. Because he saw that this is something that I had seen in the afternoon when I was doing my homework. So the magician was performing the following activity, and this boy was looking at it very, very keenly. So the magician had taken a glass jar, and he was performing all the activity. He was not allowing the children to come very close. So all magicians do that, right? So as the magician was getting ready,
You can do it in there.
so as the magician was getting set, he saw that there is again a glass jar, and the magician performed this particular activity. And Rahul was amazed. Okay? So we will also see what this activity is. So the magician was explaining that these arrows are facing in one direction, and then he put some liquid in it. And then he told them that it's a magic liquid, whatever, because there was magic about to happen. Can you see? Yes. And this Karan was so amazed, and there were many questions that came in his mind. So now, what are the questions that came in Karan's mind? He went and asked his teacher. So I carry on to give it to teacher Suresh.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, so some of the possible questions that came to Karan's mind are when the arrow changes the direction, and the hypothesis for this is when the water covers the arrow completely. The next question that came to his mind is why is the arrow changing direction? Hypothesis for this is water is making the arrow to change its direction. So under investigation, we are going to provide students different materials like water, glass, marker and paper. So they will explore the different possibilities by doing themselves, okay, the experiment. Such as changing the level of the water, okay, placing the paper away from the container and all. So variation which can be done in this particular part is, so instead of water in the container, if some other liquid, other transparent liquid is given, will the student get the same results? Okay, that will be the main important variation in this particular part.
So finally, when the air in the glass is replaced by water, the arrow changes its direction, as we all have observed that. When the light passes from air, that is medium 1, into the water that is considered as medium 2, it changes its direction. And this phenomena is called as refraction of light. Okay? That was our concept.
So what if we change the medium that is liquid? What if we use oil or some other liquid? So we have the simulation for that, which the link for that will be shared in the group. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to one and all present over here. Myself Priya Pandey, and we are from group 8, and the mentors of my group are
I'm Atul Naik.
I'm Nazneen Sheikh. So our topic is the path of light. It is from the class 7th standard. So the orientation which will be given to student is we're giving it in a situation way that there are a group of kids which have been sent to a summer camp, and they have been taken for the stargazing program. There is a program arranged for them, and the instructor or in charge have taken them for the night for the stargazing program, and he is showing them the constellations. So first he showed it with the laser light. He showed it with the laser light to the kids, but somehow or don't know why the instructor just thought to switch towards the torch. So when he used the torch, the students were not able to identify or explain the constellation, that which constellation it is or which star it is. So this is the orientation. Now next is the conceptualization.
Conceptualization. Why constellations can be easily understood by the students with the help of laser light. How was the laser light able to travel such a long distance? Laser light is, since it is maybe a stronger source of light than torch, since laser light has small tip, so it is able to travel a longer distance. Investigation.
It's a small box, we have it, and there is a mirror fixed inside, and along with that there is also a rough surface made inside, and we'll show how the reflection takes place.
Yeah, so
you can see how the light beam is traveling inside and also getting reflected. So basically there are two things we can see in this particular experiment. One thing is the light is traveling in the straight line, and secondly it gets reflected as well. So as far as the concept which she has started with, the stargazing, so normally if you just try to show the stars to the student with the just finger like this, there are many stars in the sky. So we're not able to identify which sky the sir is talking about or the concerned person is talking about. So therefore he switched on to the laser. So when you're using the laser, the beam is very much fine and is pointing exactly that particular star. So the students can understand which star the sir is talking about. But as she said, somehow he thought of changing the source of the light from the laser light to the torch. When the torch was used, what was noticed was the light was sprayed. In case of the laser light, it was a straight beam. But when the torch was used, the light was sprayed. There was a lot of scattering of the light taking place. And therefore, students were again puzzled. They were not able to identify which that particular star the sir is talking about. Okay, so when you are using the light, and basically to understand the light travels exactly in the straight line, imagine a foggy situation. Okay, now in that actually we have created some sort of the foggy situation over here. There's a little bit of smoke with the help of the incense stick. So actually when you are putting a light inside, then we could see actually how the light travels exactly in the straight line. Now as I said, there are two faces made inside this box. One is the mirror and other is the rough surface. So along the path of light, we can also see how the light gets scattered, or rather how light gets reflected. Can you just show the reflection again? Change the angles. As you can see here on the reflecting surface on the mirror, the beam of the light can be seen and it's getting reflected. If you see from the so if you see from the top, the lights get reflected. You can see that particular beam of the light. At the same time, if you allow this light to fall on the rough surface over here, you can see the incident light. But after the reflection, you cannot see anything inside. Why? Because light gets scattered on that particular rough surface. Okay?
I'm coming for that one. So this is the plane mirror, this is the rough surface. Plane mirror and the rough surface part.
Investigation part. So they'll be doing it and they'll be experimenting with that particular box. For conclusion part, we have the simulator SIMPOP. Yeah, we need to show it. Or it's okay. Simulations. Yeah. So SIMPOP, we're using that simulator, we can conclude that part. And the last part will be the discussion part.
So in discussion, when students discussed about this laser and torch, that time the final discussion which they came up with was that because of the particles in the air, because we created here smoke and the particles in the air, they are able to see the path of the light, and hence it travels in the straight line. So because of the particles, they were able to see the way of the light, the path of the light by which it was moving, and they concluded that the light goes in a straight line. Thank you.
And I'm Miss Selma. Myself Kushi. Myself Shreya.
Myself Aniket Vedi.
We are now going to demonstrate an activity on the Newton's first law of motion from class 9. Teacher will demonstrate the activity. After observing the activity, following question will arise in the mind of student. Why does potato move upward when we tap on the knife? Will potato move upward if we change the knife to some other object? Will the speed at which potato moving will change with change in amount of force applied? Hypothesis. On tapping the knife, force is applied on the knife and that's why potato is moving. Yes, with change in the object, potato may move upward. Yes, with increase in amount of force, speed at which potato is moving may increase.
under investigation, we will be providing them with materials like potato and knife. But in case to take care that there should be no harm to any of the students, in place of that we could have another activity, and we could provide materials like coin, cup and cardboard, wherein which would serve the same purpose. Show the simulation to support this activity. So from the first activity, that is with the knife, the conclusion may arise. The potato remains at rest until we tap the potato with the knife. As we tap the knife, the potato starts moving upward, and the more harder we tap the knife, the potato moves with the maximum motion. And the gentle we tap, it results in the minimal motion. So the discussion will be, in this activity, the knife acts as an external force on the potato, making the potato move in a constant motion. This explains the first law of motion. And in the case of second activity, the external force acted only on the cardboard, hence only the cardboard is set into motion, while the coins remain at rest. And this also explains the law of inertia. Thank you. Thank you.
See now, in the orientation phase, you showed an activity with the knife. You are saying in investigation phase, to take precautions, we can give this activity. But with that activity, the questions which arise in the student's mind in the conceptualization may not be answered. The same activity has to be varied. And some variations can be added and can be done. So rather than showing that activity, you could have added with this activity. And then gum can be added to the coin, then weight can be added, variations can be done. So many such activities are there. Our students, give them apparatus, they will do certain things from them. But if you give
Today we have taken a topic that is types of inertia from class 9 from the lesson force and laws of motion. So for the orientation we have both the types, like we also have a situation and we also have some experiments over here, that is discrepant events. So the situation which I will be telling you today is not a fictional story, but it is a real experience experienced by the SPPU students over here recently. So 2 days before, we were coming from a beach to Panjam station, and we were in a bus, and we were all sitting very happily as we were going to home for rest. And unfortunately, our driver was drunk, and so he hit the other bus which was standing at waiting for the passengers. He hit that bus slightly, and we all went in the front direction. And also the bus which was standing over there waiting for the passengers moved in the front direction. This was our situation. So why did it happen? All the things will be explained afterwards. Then next we have some 2 cases over here. The first case, she will demonstrate it. In that we have a glass, a card and a coin on it, and she will flick the card over there. Okay, so this was our first case. Then the second case is we have 2 balls over here, and she will demonstrate that experiment.
So when both the balls are at rest, when I push the one ball, you can see the second ball which was at the rest, it also starts moving ahead with them. This is case 2.
So these were the 2 cases for the discrepant events and also the situation.
So based on this we will tell the students to ask some questions, or whatever questions come in their mind, they will be writing it. So the questions which can come into their mind is, for the first case, why did the coin fall inside the glass? Okay. For investigation, as in they can think ahead also. So they might think what will happen if we use something different instead of a coin, or maybe instead of the card if some other papers are used, what may happen. So that they will investigate it during the investigation part. For second case, the questions may be why did ball at rest start to move? Second question might be why did the ball which was moving did not stop? Based on this, the hypothesis could be in the first case, so why did the coin fall inside the glass? It could be because the coin is heavy, so naturally it fell inside. In second case, what will happen if we use something different instead of coin? So they might say that hypothesis could be it may fall inside or it may not. In third case, as in the next question, why did ball at rest start to move? So the hypothesis could that be due to the force exerted by the first ball. Another question, why did the ball which was moving did not stop? So it could be because ball at rest was lighter than the ball in the motion. So there can be any hypothesis. So investigation part, my friend.
So for investigation, students will be provided into groups of 4 students each. Students will be provided with necessary materials like a coin, a card, 2 balls. Also to certain groups, materials were provided, it will not work. So for variation in the case 1, papers of a different thickness and area. And in case 2, balls of unequal size.
Students will conclude from the experiment. Case 1, as the coin was heavy, it fell into cup when the paper was flipped. And case 2, due to the force applied by the ball in the motion to the ball at the rest will start moving.
So in the discussion, in the first case, we have a glass and a card on it and a coin over it. So what is happening is the card is flung. Whereas the card is flung, the force is applied directly on the card and the coin is at rest. So the card will tend to be at rest and the card will be flung, but the coin will fall in the glass. So that is the law of inertia. In the second case, however, as the ball is in motion, it will tend to remain in motion, and even when it collides with the other ball, it will tend to remain in motion. That is the reason why it is not coming to rest altogether. Okay, it is covering some distance. Thank you.
So the application part of this, you can say or you can tell to the students that the seat belts which are there in the cars. So usually the seat belts are given in the cars, provided in the cars, and when people are told to wear them, because if some by chance if there is an accident that takes place, so because of the seat belt they will not come in front with the more force. Okay, so the seat belt will reduce that force and they might save themselves. Thank you.
Sound is produced due to vibration. So during the orientation session, students will be provided with a mouth organ toy that is made up of candy stick and paper stick. This is the toy. Okay, conceptualization. Questions: why sound is produced when we blow air into the mouth organ? Second question: why there is a gap in between the candy stick and the paper strip? Hypothesis: when we blow air, sound is produced. For second answer, to pass the air. Now during investigation, students will be provided with these materials. What we that is candy stick, paper, and rubber band. And student need to make a toy that is mouth organ by using these materials. The student will make the toy mouth organ. So the first one, what she will show. That is, student will make it. They have to observe the like how you have done by after we have seen the what sir was showing us. So in the first case, there is no air gap. So when we blow air in between this one,
you can see, the sound is not produced. So, but when the wooden strip inserted at the edge, that means a gap was created, sound we were able to produce the sound. These students are going to do the investigation. We are providing with them just 3 materials: candy stick, paper, and rubber bands. Now, for conclusion, as all of you are aware, when you blow air into the mouth organ, the paper strip moves up and down. That is, it is vibration, what we call it. So, it vibrates to produce sound. So, the gap in between, why there is a gap in between? So, these gaps help the air to pass through it, and due to which paper is getting enough of space to vibrate. So, this is what the students are going to conclude. And further, students can relate this concept with different types of sound they hear in everyday life. Now, further, this activity can be extended by showing the descriptive event this way and giving them some other material, that is the Shilpa teacher will explain.
We can give them material like straw, paper straw, and a plastic straw which is soft. Even in the plastic straw, we get straws which are very stiff, and paper straw. So students can try this with paper straw as well as a plastic straw and check the difference in the sound which is produced or it is not produced. For example, I'll show you.
And this is with the paper one. There is no sound produced with this. Okay, that is a difference.
And you can show also with the stiff paper. This one you get plastic straws which you get in hotels and all.
You get another straw with a stiff one. So if you try with that,
Yeah, so students can analyze for their own self that if you use different material, whether sound will be produced or not, they can experience for their own self. Even there are some plants, as we were discussing with one of our sir, there is one plant wherein we take the paper and we used to roll them during our childhood and create the sound. So students can practice this also in the classroom. Paper.
Any questions?
Yeah, question. Let us clap for them, boss.
Myself, Rachna Navade. My name is Prakriti Naik. My name is Mansi Sonkor.
See, our orientation goes like this. We'll be describing the one incident. So that incident goes like this. One of my friend recently bought a new pair of sandals. Okay, but because of some reason he decides not to wear those sandals, new sandals. He decides to wear old sandals which he was having. Okay, but the sole of that old sandal was completely worn out. So he decides to wear the old sandals. After wearing the old sandals, he was walking through the veranda. And as he was walking through the veranda, he notices that he wasn't able to get a proper grip on the floor. And his legs were sleeping. So he notices that. And while getting down from the stairs, his leg, the leg just slips and he falls off. Okay, then what he does, he just removes those sandals and he throws them out. And he went back and he wears his new sandals. Okay, after wearing the new sandals, as he was walking through the veranda, he notices that now he is able to get a proper grip on the floor and he is able to walk properly. So and he continues his day. So this is the incident which we are going to describe, or the teacher is going to describe. So after hearing this incident, now what are the questions or what is the conceptualization that will be explained by my colleague. Okay. So, after describing the events, now the question which may arise in the student's mind, in the first case, when he was, when the friend wore the old sandals, why did he fall? That is the main question. And the second question, when he wore the second pair of sandals, which were new, okay, why he did not fall? So these are the two main questions which will arise in students' mind. So this is our conceptualization. Now hypothesis goes like this. So in the first case, the soul was completely worn out, right? So because of that, he may be the legs were sleeping. And in the second case, in case of new senders, the sole was bit rough. So he was able to get proper grip on the floor. So that's why he was able to walk properly without slipping off. Okay, so now further part will be explained by my colleague.
So here you can see we have two wooden blocks, both having a smooth surface. So we will provide the students with one cloth or one sandpaper, and they have to attach it to the one wooden block, and the other one will remain as it is. As you can see, if I apply, and we will also provide one inclined plane or one wooden board. If we put both smooth surfaces on the board, you can see coming down with same speed. But if we take one wooden block with smooth surface and other with the rough surface, so now you can observe the wooden block having the smooth surface is coming fast, and the other one having the rough surface, it's coming slow speed. So now ma'am will explain further.
Okay, as sir has given situation about sandals. Okay, so we'll compare that situation here. So in first case, what happens? Here it is a smooth surface. Okay, if we place here and if we tilt this, what will happen? It will fall down. But in other case, what happens? This surface is a rough. Okay, so simultaneously if we tilt this, it will fall down first because of the smooth surface is having a less resistance, whereas in a rough surface it is having a high resistance. So it will takes time, or that is a difference between their speed.
Okay, so in orientation, we saw a story where the new sandal was used and the person would have a strong grip. In conceptual, again, in investigation, we saw that we had two wooden blocks, and one wooden block was having a rough surface and the other one was having a smooth surface. So students will observe, like if I give this situation to you, you'll observe that one wooden block is moving slowly without any opposing objection to it or resistance to it. But the other one, which is having a rough surface, what is happening to it? It is having some resistance when it is moving down the plane. So from this situation, teacher can relate and come to a conclusion that there is some opposing resistance which is there, and this opposing resistance we can call it as a friction. And from this, teacher can ask students where they see similar situations in their daily lives. If you can give anyone any example. Yes, rubbing of hand, there is a friction. Yes, opening. One more thing where we replace the old ones with the new one is tire. So when tire gets worn out, what we do is we replace it with with a rough surface and having more grip. So their friction comes in mind, and from your students will relate and will learn the concept from everyday activities.
And our topic is natural indicator, class 6. Myself, Dr. Sarika Dorone.
I'm Miss Bhagishri Naik.
Myself, Jagriti Pandey. So now I'm going to show you a little bit magic. In all these sessions, like earlier sessions of 5 days, we already saw a lot of magic tricks. So here also we are going to show you some magic trick. Now let's see whether it is magic or something else. So you can see we have here two different solutions. Now we are going to put some magic powder inside that, and we are going to see some change in it. Okay, let's see. Do you know some magic mantra we can apply on it? Like abracadabra. Okay. So, can you see these two magic? What just happened?
So the what question maybe student ask? Two possible questions. What are the two solutions? Are both solution are same? Why the solution B turned red and the solution that were not A? Hypothesis. Both the solution are different and have different properties. Okay, both solution are different and they have different properties. Second hypothesis, red color is due to some reaction.
For investigation activity, we are going to give both the solution to the students and this magical powder, that is the turmeric powder. Okay. Now the students can make out what are these two solutions by the smell. The solution A, where the color was just yellow, the turmeric color, is lemon juice. So with the smell of the solution, the student can make out it is lemon juice. And the property of a lemon juice that it is acidic in nature. The second solution is a soap solution. Again, with the smell of a soap, they can make out that it is a soap solution, or even if you touch it in the hand, it is slimy. So they can make out it is a soap solution, and when the turmeric powder is added to the soap solution, it turned red. So they can conclude that in acidic nature, turmeric powder didn't show any change. But when it was basic, that is soap solution, it turned red. So turmeric acted as a natural indicator. So they, as a part of implication, they can use other acidic and basic solution to test this using turmeric as a natural indicator to test the acidic and basic properties. Thank you.
Hello. Myself Sandeep Parab.
My name is Meghna Kandulkar.
Myself Shraddha.
And we are given this last class. From tomorrow, I think, from tomorrow you have holidays, right? And this is the last class. So I don't think that you are interested in any studies, right? You are the student of 8th standard. What yes? You want me to give a lesson, or you don't want to learn today? Be loud. Don't want, yes. Even I don't want to teach. Okay? But this headmistress here is forcing me. Okay. So even I am not going to teach you anything. But are you interested in a story? खूब old story. Are you interested?
Yes.
Please be loud.
Yes, sir.
Okay. बहुत सालों पहले, ओके, ये सतयुग की स्टोरी है. So at that time, there was a hen, and there were 3 chicks. It had 3 chicks. ये जो मुर्गी थी, वो बहुत स्पिरिचुअल थी. And this hen worshipped Lord Vishnu. आपको विष्णु मालूम है? भगवान विष्णु मालूम है? तो इनकी भक्त थी. तो इनकी भक्ति से प्रसन्न होकर एक दिन भगवान विष्णु ने सोचा कि इनको हम लोग अभी वरदान देंगे. तो भगवान विष्णु नीचे आ गए. ऐसे ही हुआ था
जब लॉर्ड कृष्णा केम डाउन, राइट? सो देयर वाज, उस वक्त भी अंधेरा था, अभी भी अंधेरा है. सो दिस स्टोरी ऑफ माइंड इज रियल. तो ये जो भगवान विष्णु नीचे आ गए और उन्होंने सोचा, नीचे आते आते उन्होंने सोचा कि इस मुर्गी को हम जो वरदान देने जा रहे हैं तो इनकी परीक्षा लेंगे. तो नीचे आते आते उन्होंने एक आउल का फॉर्म ले लिया. सो दिस इज द आउल. और नीचे आने के बाद उन्होंने मुर्गी को कहा कि अभी जो है मैं तुम्हारे तीनों बच्चों को खा जाऊंगी. तो मुर्गी तो डर गई. मुर्गी कहने लगी कि हमारे बच्चों को मत खाओ. तो इस आउल ने उनको कहा कि अगर मैं तुमको 5 चीजें देता हूं, अगर इन 5 चीजों से तुमको वो जो चर्च दिखाई दे रही है वहां पर लाइट जलाना है. ओके, एक आइटम यूज करके, दैट इज नेशनल इंटीग्रेशन. we are also introducing national integration.
I can come with different stories.
So it's a union of two stories.
So he don't want to disappoint me, so he integrated.
Okay. तो उन्होंने कहा कि अगर इन 5 चीजों से you have to do 2 things by using 2 of the objects. One, the light should glow. Second, with second object, the light should not glow. Okay? But this hen was given 5 objects. One object could be used only once. Out of 5, she had an option of using one object twice. Is that clear? Yes. Condition is clear. She was given 5 objects. If the light glows with one object, second time the light should not glow with the second object. She can use one object only once. Okay, out of 4 objects she can use only once. One object she can use twice, but the condition was she can, if she wants, she can process that object. Okay, she can do some modifications if she wants, and she can use this particular object which is to be used twice. Once it should put on the light, and once it should not put on the light. Okay, so either the light might be put off first or put on the second time. Is that clear? Yes. So this hen, she came. So she came with the first object. Okay, she touched it here. She went on the church top as the combination of 2 things. It's a national integration. So she went there top and she touched this object. So light blew. Then okay. So so second time it was touched, the light did not glue. So first chicken was given to her batch. Okay, this one is after. Sorry. Okay. Then after that, so one. Wow. So one chicken was given back. Then second object. So 2 objects are used. This is the third object. With this third object, okay. Light was on. Now the light is not on. Okay. So the second chick was also returned. Now the third chick. The condition is she can use this object twice. Okay, this is the only object she can use twice. Once, either the light should be first, it can be on, or off, and the second time the reverse should happen. Okay, so finally she did that and she got the third cheek back. You have to find out what was done by that hand. You can investigate. If you want, I can show you the toy here. So this is the thing that we had done. Okay, you will be given last fifth object. So this so these are the objects that we use first: aluminum foil, tissue paper, okay, one was the this one, iron wire, and then mastic. This is the fifth object. So it is identified that it is an insulated wire. Okay, so first she touched it with this insulation on, and afterwards the insulation was removed and it was put on here. So the light went on.
That insulated wire was used 2 times.
Yes, it was used 2 times.
With open wire and
once with insulation and one without insulation. Okay.
So possible questions can arise by the students are: why bulb glows with aluminium foil and iron wire? Why bulb doesn't glow with tissue paper and matchstick? So the hypotheses are: bulb glows because the object comes in contact with the 2 metal strips. Bulb, in the second case, the bulb doesn't glow because the object doesn't come in contact with the 2 metal strips.
So investigation can be, we will provide this these components: battery, then pencil, then insulated aluminum wire, then wax. We will divide the students in 4 groups, 4 in each group, then pin, then wooden stick.
And even students can try with the materials that they have.
Even the solution they can try, and in discussion we can come to the variation, like they will try to sharpen both the sides of the pencils and they try to connect and check the flow of the current. In conclusion, the materials which allow current to flow through it are conductors, and which doesn't allow are insulators.
That is the discussion part.
Of me, I have 8th standard students, right?
Yes.
Well, anyway, Sainam, yesterday you did not come to workshop, right? And I heard this boy had gone for movie. And not only that, but in the morning he came late. Yes or no? Why so?
Okay. Yes. I apologize to you, sir, and all of you. आज मैं सकाळी लेट गेलो. काल खयची मूवी पळोवंक गेलो ते आनी सांगिना हांव. इसके बारे में बात नहीं की तो ये अच्छा है. एनिमल मूवी. So आज सकाळी येवपाचें कारण लेट because last night I was watching one more movie. I was studying for exam and मातसो रिलॅक्स जावपा खातीर आनी एक मूवी पळयली because थिएटरान जी पळोवंक गेलो ती आवडोंक ना म्हाका. So that movie was Harry Potter. Harry Potter म्हाका खूब आवडटा, ल्हानपणाच्यान आमी पळयता. Some of us from Pune, right? Yeah. Harry Potter मूवी आम्ही बघायचो आणि आता आपण मला हॅरी पॉटर आवडते. सो मला हे सांगायचं आहे, हो, जस्ट अ थिंग. आता तुम्ही बघितलं असणार, मराठीमध्ये बोललं जात नसतं. सो ही बॉटल आहे, सपोज ही प्लास्टिकची आहे आणि काल जेव्हा मी हॅरी पॉटर बघत होतो, ऑब्व्हियसली मला माहिती नव्हतं आज काय प्रेझेंट करायचं आहे, पण सर बोलत होते तेव्हा कदाचित माझ्या लक्षात आलं की हे काहीतरी करून बघूया. तर ही बॉटल आहे. हॅरी पॉटर मध्ये आम्ही बघतो की समवन इज युजिंग मॅजिक स्टिक अँड इज लिफ्टिंग द ऑब्जेक्ट डायरेक्टली विथ द हेल्प ऑफ दॅट स्टिक अँड ऑल.
Correct.
Yes. So anybody from this session who is big fan of Harry Potter like me, I hope सगळे असतात हॅरी पॉटरचे फॅन, राईट? जगातली 3 हायेस्ट सोल्ड गजाली सांगितलेल्या भितून हॅरी पॉटर मॅगझिन येता, राईट? Yes. So is there anybody over here who can lift this bottle or move this bottle without touching it?
Yes, you all can try.
Anybody?
Yes. Aryan want to give a try? Not like
Yes, Gauri ma'am, do you wanna try?
असा कोणाकडे मॅजिक पॉवर कोण लिफ्ट करपाक शकता? कम ऑन लिफ्ट.
It's just
Yes.
try.
Without touching it. आणि एक्स्ट्रा काय ना, ग्रॅव्हिटी वेट हांगा आसा तशे. ओके, देन वी कॅन शिफ्ट टू वन मोर ग्रुप, Avengers, no? Something, sir? Avengers, do you want to try? Avengers also has some powers, right, sir?
Correct.
Avengers, you want to try? No? Okay, no Avengers, then finally सलमान खानाचे तरी फॅन असतले. ट्यूबलाइट मूवी पहिला. क्या तुम्हें यकीन है? यकीन की ताकत से हिला सकते हो? Still no? Then I think Sachin sir might have answer of this. Because Sachin sir के पास यकीन नहीं, बहुत कुछ ऐसी ताकत है जो मुझे वो बता रहे थे. Sir, please you continue with that thing जो आप मुझे बता रहे थे वहाँ पे.
Oh, okay.
Yes, please continue, sir.
That thing, what you know? This my friend Saloni. Okay, she is friend of Harry Potter. सारखे मग आणि ते म्हाका सांगताले म्हळ्यार काल आमी yesterday we had been to garden and she wanted to play football, it seems. Okay, and what she did, she kept a ball on the ground. Okay, and that ball did not move. Fine. And when she applied, pushed the ball, then ball moved forward and again stop. Fine. And later on she bored with such kind of games and these games, okay, and she started playing with fingering. Come on, start. Play with the fingers like this, do it. Play properly, why you are falling down? Again you are falling down. See, she is starting playing with the ball, but again and again that ball falls down. Right? So I want from my students now, have you all observed these 2 situations of Harry Potter and playing with the ball? I guess yes, right? Yes? Yes. So first tell me, what could be the title of this situation? Yes?
The concept which is shown.
Concept of this.
So can you give a
Correct.
point?
Give a big round of applause to my student. That force. Yes? Fine. Now, by looking at this situation, what are the questions you could arise? Come on, one by one. I want all participation of my students. Yes. What are the questions you could arise?
There are 2 situations given to you all. One in a way of story and another one a situation wherein the child has gone or a student has gone in the park wherein she is playing with a ball. So can you all come up with a question? Yes, we are waiting.
If you want me to revise the 2 situations, then I can. If not, then ask the questions. Come on. Yes? What questions you can tell Diksha, right? Yes, Diksha? सांग बघू काय क्वेश्चन्स तुझ्या मनात येऊ शकतात ते.
It is already.
By looking at these 2 situations.
Force it is.
Yes?
So what are the questions which are coming
काय म्हणू शकतात? काय क्वेश्चन आहे?
with reference to the force?
Why she not able to hold the ball on the finger?
He had told her a bottle is kept over here. That was the first thing. So it is not moving.
Yeah, her
To
question
make
is
it
right. Why that ball she could not hold on the finger? Perfect question. Yes. What else? Why ball stops after some time? When she pushed the ball stop after some time, right? Why that ball stops after some
So
time?
now we have got the questions wherein we are supposed to investigate now. So let us
Yeah.
investigate.
And one more question, please. Come on.
instead of football, if you take a small tennis ball.
Okay, fine. So it is asking instead of football, if you have taken a small ball, then is it possible to hold, or that ball also will fall down, right? Okay. Anyway, so based on this, if you have observed, when we push the ball, we made what? We made what? Yes, we made contact, right? And that a ball again and again falls down, right? Why that ball fell down? Why that ball falls down?
Yes, who is pulling?
What is that pulling? Gravitational force. Gravitational force, is it contact? No, meaning it is
Non-contact.
non-contact force. So again, first is that conceptive force, and then type of force is contact force, and then non-contact force. Then these two friends will investigate by showing you some activities. Come on, yes. Yeah. You all can see here, in her hand, in one hand she has magnet, and in other hand pin. And if you bring a pin near a magnet, it will come on, attract. So it is magnetic force, and that magnetic force comes under the non-contact force. Correct. Yes, then
Now there is a ball.
Now there is a ball. Okay. Now to make that ball in motion, so what is required? Force is required, but what kind of a force?
Contact.
Contact force. That means until and unless an object is not exerting a force on that particular object, that object will not move. Got it? So that is called as contact force.
Yesterday also one of our dashing professor, this one names us Courage sir, have shown that charging, right? Balloon charged and that other balloon attracts, right? So electrostatic force. So that is also a type of non-contact force. So in these all 3-4 activities, we have shown you, we have investigated you about the topic called as force, about the topic called as contact force and non-contact force. Okay? Conclusion?
So finally, to conclude, we can conclude that force is nothing but push or a pull of an object. We call it as a force. But until and unless the force is applied, the object doesn't move. Okay, so this is the concept overall we have explained about the force.
And now topic for the discussion. Yes. Anyone like to discuss or give inputs in this? Thank you very much.
Without coming out, but they failed. They modified the instrument and finally they succeed. The instrument was like this. They couldn't peep outside. From using this instrument, they could peep outside without getting any shot in the head. And for conceptualization, the possible questions.
Please, I think there is some noise coming from behind. Whenever any participants are presenting, let us be attentive and hear that, and don't make any noise.
For conceptualization, the possible questions from students. What is the name of the instrument? Can we use mirrors or red lens? Can we change the length of instrument? Can we see it in the dark? Was the torch placed inside? Why the shape of the instrument is in S shape? And for hypothesis, solve it.
Hypothesis, maybe the torch was not used, or maybe mirrors or lens were not used. In case 2, mirrors and lens torch was used.
investigation, students will be divided in a group of 5 students each. Total 45 students. So 9 students, 5 students in each group. Following material were provided for the first group. First 3 groups were given 3 boxes, 2 mirrors, Fevicol, cutter. The second group, 3 more groups were given beaker and laser. Remaining 3 groups were given 2 mirrors, A4 paper, foam sheets to make foam sheets of various designs. They had to use the same principle and form 3 different experiments to prove the same concept. Conclusion.
Conclusion, from this we can conclude that the light travels in a straight line, as well as in case 1 when there was no mirror was used. But in case 2, and in case 2, mirrors were used to reflect the ray of the light. And this discussion means where the applications are implemented, it is used in submarines, battle tanks, amphibious vehicles. Also, we can modify it by using, instead of mirrors, prisms can be used.
The name of the instrument is periscope, and you can, if you observe from down here, you can see the up from this side, the view from here.
The preparation of this requires 2 mirrors, minimum 2 mirrors. With 1 mirror also you can do it. So the students will try with 1 mirror first, and if you want to peep outside above some obstruction, you have to take that mirror to certain height so that you can see what is there on the other side. So they will be learning how to adjust the angle of the mirror first so that they can see it from down. And the second mirror come into picture when you want to simplify the instrument or simplify the way you are looking through it. So you will add another mirror so that you don't have to strain your neck looking up. That's it.
This will happen during investigation phase.
Yeah.
But that variation, what you are saying, that group 1 will be doing something different, group 2 will be doing something different. That's a much bigger explanation.
Group 1 will be given 3 boxes, 2 mirrors, Fevicol, cutter to make periscope. 3 more groups will be given beaker and laser. So they have to take the beaker. We will be giving them beaker and laser. So they have to think how they can show light travels in a straight line. They can also show reflection, and they have to think how they can show. So they have to put water inside the beaker and on the laser to show the difference.
Very important here is that during conceptualization phase, you had posed some questions which were there, which had to be answered through the investigation phase. Now, through these activities, which are varying the activities with the group, they are not able to answer the questions which are there. So, if you are giving a setup, that setup should remain same from group to group. Otherwise, they can try with 2 mirrors, they can try with 3 mirrors. That can be done. That variation can be done. But otherwise, the one group will be able to answer the hypothesis. Everybody is understanding this. The other group will not be able to answer the hypothesis. Then knowledge construction, knowledge concept, it will not happen. Understanding. So I understand that you want to make them to explore the principle, that concept through various, but it won't come to the answers which they have posed during the conceptualization. So that's why you can give the same setup to everybody. Vary with the mirrors, maybe, if possible. That can be.
Some we can give lenses so that they don't get to see what is there. So like a variation.
But again,
like how we were given with 2 holes and we were told to do the air pressure.
Yeah,
Same concept, but if we give them
finally, through that you are able to answer your hypothesis.
yes, because they are asking the question whether lens is used. They are asking the question like that. Can we do it
Then
with
you
the
can
lens?
provide with mirror, also you can provide lens. And they can see first top of the lens वापरून mirror वापरून profile. Then you can make them to now you try, because if they were having a question, now you try with lenses.
That is very important. One thing on my like angle. Angle is very deciding factor. So angle once they get, then only they will get able to see. So that is actually the investigation
So
part.
the concept of multiple images.
Very
Can change the length of the box.
Yes.
That could be a modification.
Yes, that could be a modification, because that question also is there. But that opportunities we should provide. Just give them material. That box they can make in such a way that's increasing the length. That they will do it. We will not provide do it like this.
Angle will be also decided.
Thank you.
And the members of my team are
Myself, Shweta Naraskar.
myself, Mayuri Naik. It's a class of standard 9 and the teacher is going to demonstrate an activity in the class. Students observe the activity very carefully because you will be asked questions based on the activity. In the first activity, the teacher is having a glass and in the same glass, a fixed amount of water is added. You can name the beakers or glass as glass A and glass B. In both the beakers, we have the fixed amount of. Teachers are going to add some solute to this. Salt. 1 spoon at a time. 1 spoon at a time. Observe what is happening in the beaker. There is stirring being done. Teacher has added 1 spoon of salt in both the beaker. Another solute, sugar will be added. Fix 1 spoon of sugar will be added. See what is happening here. Some of the questions which are coming to the mind of the students are: where did the solute got disappeared? Why did the solute get disappeared fast in beaker A than in beaker B? Is the amount of water taken in both the beakers the same? Is there temperature difference in both the temperature difference of water in both the beakers? Under investigation, we have a simulation for the students. Students, watch the simulation properly. Only being shared in your group. The hypothesis. We have derived 2 hypotheses from the simulation. The first hypothesis goes like this. Amount of solute used in beaker A is less than beaker B. Second, temperature in beaker A is higher than temperature in beaker B. The conclusion will be shared by my co.
Okay, so to conclude, so as we have observed from the 2 cases, in both the cases the solute was getting dissolved. So we can conclude that solute molecules get dissolved with the solvent molecules. And the second hypothesis was related to the temperature. So From this activity, we also investigate that in case 1, the solute got dissolved a little faster than in case 2. So your temperature plays an important role in both the cases, and it is an important factor for solubility. So the relation is like this: as the temperature increases, the solubility also increases. So these are the 2 main points that we conclude from this activity.
For discussion, as the amount of solvent increases, the solution becomes dilute. As a variable, you can apply this situation to your day-to-day experiences. Instead of taking salt and sugar, you can take milk, you can take lemon juice and other liquids. Thank you. Any questions? Yes, in the investigation process, the materials will be given to the students. They are going to perform the activity and see what is the change when the temperature is changed and when the amount of solute also changes.
Simulation is just after part of that, so that they will get more hands.
Yes, simulation will add to what is being done in the class and what they can do further. Yes, yeah, thank you.
Now, the first phase orientation, that was fine. Second phase conceptualization, where questions are students came with questions, that was also fine. Now you cannot give them direct answers. That you are only in that phase of conceptualization. You are only telling them the force is applied, it is contact, it is a non-contact, gravitation, electrostatic, all these things you cannot. That they should investigate. You are only telling them that, see, you should provide. They will be investigating by performing activities. They will push. You can put worksheets for that, wherein you can put questions in the first activity. Question: what you did, how many objects were involved? 2 objects were involved. Then did that object have to come in contact or has to touch with the other object? Yes. Then what do you conclude from this? So like this, finally that construction of knowledge will occur. It cannot happen that you are directly telling them the concept. Then we are directly telling them the concept. It is not inquiry. It is again you are directly telling the content to the student. That content has to be derived from the students. So that should not happen. So orientation phase was correct. Your conceptualization phase was correct. But during investigation phase, the child will do activity, and from that activity they will finally conclude that we have to push something or pull something. Then at later stage you can say that push or pull is called as force. Then second activity we wanted to say that you have to be in contact with the substance. That other option was that there is no requirement of coming in contact, but force can be applied, gravitation or electrostatic. But that you should not tell student. That student will automatically tell by doing activity. For that you can supplement that activity with a worksheet, and then through that worksheet it will come. So that is investigation. You gave experiential learning, no doubt it was experiential learning, but that did not result into inquiry because you have to answer the questions which were given. So that should, by the conclusion, that conclusion has to come from the student. You concluded it in the conceptualization phase only, that it is a force, it is a contact force, non-contact force. That should not happen. Yes? Okay, yes. Thank you.
The topic would have been contact force or non-contact force. We should have kept it as like, it was a mixture. So it is a mixture and very difficult.
Yes, if go with one concept, that is, see, we cannot teach so many concepts in one session. So go with only force, or go with only contact force, or difference contact or non-contact. But don't mix with many, because force is a concept which is first of all somewhere we can make students do lots of inquiry. And then with contact force, because in contact force there are so many forces again. In non-contact force there are so many forces again. So in one inquiry, if the student is teaching understanding force, in force, contact force, muscular force or other type of forces, in non-contact force, gravitational, electrostatic, so it has to be with one topic or one concept.
And my name is Diksha Narpekar. My name is Priyanka Hardikar.
So I am Vinay Takle.
I'm Mrs. Poonam Sawant.
Okay, so now I'll be showing you a picture.
Okay, so can everyone see this picture? Yes? Okay, what can you observe here? Anyone? Yes?
Lion is standing on the brink of that well.
Yes, and who else? The rabbit?
One person.
Yeah. Now this picture reminds us of a story, isn't it? Which? I want one of you all to get up and just tell me the answer. Yes. Lion and the rabbit. Can you just tell me the story in brief? Yes.
Goes, he tells lion that I've saw another lion in the well. He takes a lion with him, and lion sees that there's another lion in the well, and he just jumps to fight with him.
Yes, very good. Thank you. The lion sees the identical image of himself in the well, right? He only sees a single image, isn't it? Okay, so now I'll show you another picture. So, can you all see this picture? Yes? Okay, so this is a boy in the barber's saloon, okay, and he went to cut his hair, obviously. So, let's try an experiment. For that, I need one person to come here to help me out. Anyone? Come. So, listen to me very carefully. Hold the two mirrors parallel to each other. Hold the two mirrors parallel to each other. Hold this one also. Yeah. Now place the object in the middle of the two mirrors. Okay. Observe what can you see in the mirror. Can you only observe only one single image? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So in the case number 1, the lion only saw a single image, isn't it? And here in case number 2, what you observe, single image or multiple images? Multiple images, right. Okay. So moving on to the conceptual. Yeah, the same thing if someone goes in a science center. Okay, have you all seen this? Okay, at least you all have visited a science center. Yeah? Okay, so if you all have visited, surely you all have seen this, right? Okay, so this is the case 3 where we observe multiple images. So moving on to the next part. Okay, so by this 3 cases, can you guess the concept, which concept are we talking about? Reflection. Yes, you. Correct, very good. So yes.
So our topic is clear, that is from the standard 8, that is the multiple image formation. Okay, so with this in orientation phase, through this activity, what are the questions that may revolve in the mind of the student?
टॉपिक तुम्ही सांगता सांगा पण टॉपिक तुमचं तांकां सांगपाक आले तुम्ही सांगा बट इन द क्लासरूम दॅट दे विल नॉट यू विल नॉट टेल द टॉपिक मल्टिपल इमेज दे शुड अंडरस्टँड अदरवाइज दे विल टेल फुल टॉपिक
So what are the questions that may revolve in the mind of a student in this activity? Can anybody just share this? question is that why only one image of lion is seen? Okay, this is the question. Okay, hypothesis. Okay, or I'll go with the questions only. Then why are many images seen in case of barber shop or by doing this activity, or multiple images in at Goa Science Center? Okay, so these are the questions that has been revolving in the mind of the student. And the hypothesis is that one image of the lion is seen. It is only because of, student may say it is only because of water. Okay. And many images are seen here. It is only because of mirrors. And at Science Center, he may say that the mirrors might be placed at certain at a certain angle or a distance. That is the reason why many images were seen. Okay, so this is our conceptualization stage, and now we'll go for to investigate how are the many images are formed.
Okay, for the investigation phase, what we will do is we will divide the students into certain number of groups, and each group will have around 4 to 5 members. They will be provided with mirrors. For example, for the first group, we will just give 1 mirror. For the subsequent group, we will give 2 mirrors. For the third group, 3 mirrors, and so on. We will see that the number of mirrors are in pair. For example, 2 groups will get 1 mirror, second 2 groups will get 2 mirrors, like that. We'll also provide them with the image of a protractor, and we will give them an object which is small enough so that it will be easy for them to look into the mirrors. And to supplement it further, we will provide them with a worksheet on which they can record their observations, whatever they are observing while they perform the experiment. Okay, this is our investigation.
Okay, now coming to the conclusion. So based on how these students utilize the given materials, the teachers will assist them, like how they will keep the mirrors, like if they are given 2 mirrors, how they will keep, whether they have got the idea. Okay, then based on this, the conclusion will be like, now in the first case where the single mirror is provided, it will be the single image formation. Now the other groups were provided more number of mirrors which they had to incline at different angles. Okay, and based on the angles which they incline the mirrors to, the number of images formed will also differ. Now the child here will understand that the number of the angle, okay, the measure of the angle will be inversely proportional to the number of images formed. So like for example, like for 30 degrees, the number of images will be around 11. For 90 degrees, the number of images will be like 3. So this the child will do and understand. So the child will, then the conclusion will be with here this is inversely proportional. As the angle decreases, the number of images will increase. And then the child will also try, like if the 2 mirrors are kept at 180 degrees, what will happen? And beyond 180 degrees, if they take. Then here one more situation, like research type, like given to the child, like arrange the mirrors in such a order that you get infinite number of images. So discussion over here is application of this concept, which just now one group did, that is in the periscope, also for kaleidoscope. And one more is for, like, now whenever we go for a selection of tiles, looking at 1 or 2 tiles, we cannot just imagine how the floor will look like. So here if we have a box of 4 mirrors and square box of 4 mirrors and a tile fitted in the center, then from there if you observe, you can get a visualization of the entire floor. So this is one of the application of the same. Yeah, thank you.
Standard 5th. Myself, Mrs. Disha Kautankar.
Myself, Arjun Kautankar.
Myself, Navnath Suresh Sawant.
Myself, Shubhangi Agni. Good morning, students. Okay, today I'm going to give one situation. As you know, this month is we'll be having our sports, right? So this particular school also have their annual sport, and for this annual sports they have various events. And one of the event was like the children had to complete some specific task given to them. Okay, when this particular event was being conducted, it was found that their stopwatch stopped working. So then they were wondering what to do. So all started suggesting, let's use from the cell phone. But then the headmistress strictly suggested that no use of cell phone on the ground. So then they were wondering what to use and how to conduct this final event. So one of the science teachers just suggested, let's make a use of a pendulum. And then so a pendulum was used and the winners were declared.
So out of 10 participants, 3 participants were declared the winner. So for the participant who came third, the bob was released from this position. And that third participant who came third, he completed it in 200 oscillations. That task. For the one who came in second position, the bob was released from this position. And he completed it in 150 oscillations. And one who came first, the bob was released from this position over here, and he completed it in 80 oscillations, and he was declared first. So this is the situation. Then students, so this was the orientation. So afterwards, many questions will arise in students' mind. So that is conceptualization. So first question which can arise in students' mind is, why teacher use this method to measure time? So hypothesis for this is because it may be the accurate method and it tells accurate time. Second question which might arise is, will it affect if the bob is released from different position? If the bob is released from different position, will it affect the time? So hypothesis is it will not affect since the length is same. Next is investigation.
Providing them, now the thought process will start that how it can be declared as an first, second, third winner, though he had changed the amplitude. I'm using the word amplitude because teacher knows the amplitude, student don't know the amplitude. Student will say that different positions we had shifted that. Okay, and when it is shifted, that question is still in the mind of the children that though the positions is different, how they can declare the time period, how it will be same, or a time period, how it can be justified. So for that, we are giving them the activity to do. There will be a group of 10 students, wherein 8 of them will be provided with the material. I'll read the material. Bob, that is a string of 100 centimeter, a rigid support that can be a stand which is provided to them, and a stopwatch. To measure the time period, they need a stopwatch. Here we are not using the stopwatch. And 2 group in the class will be provided with different masses, not the weight but mass. Okay, size even is not changed, size is same, only mass is changed. And the length, change in the length, is one will be given a change in the mass, and one will be given, one group will be given change in the length. Okay, so these are the things provided to them, and teacher will guide them, and teacher will tell them that they have to tabulate the observations when they are performing this. So if they change the position, they can write down the position is changed something. If they change the length, the people who are given with a constant length will not change the length. Okay, the other people might write that. And number of oscillations. We will facilitate that. What will be the time period? Okay, what is the period? Because period is already done in a 6th standard. This is a 7th standard. It is to and fro motion. Pendulum also is familiar to them, how exactly it is oscillating and all. So only what is the period? Like one complete oscillation from one extreme, it goes to another extreme and come back to that extreme becomes a 1 period. That will be facilitated to them when they will ask the question, yes or no, all those particular formulations. We will guide them, and we need this particular thing in a tabular form. That also we will help them how they can frame the table.
Teacher have told one. Okay, now it's a conclusion. So just now the teacher have told about the story also. With the story also, and also teacher investigated also. And with this we come to know that how to calculate the time period here. Okay.
So we come to the conclusion that time taken by a pendulum to complete one oscillation is called a time period. It is there. So this is one activity to find out the time period here. Now here discussion part. Last part is the discussion part here. Now just you must have seen the pendulum and the thread is used here to explain about a time period here. To find out the number of oscillations. So these are the instruments used here. Now to find out the time period, we can use different lengths also here. What would be the oscillations and what would be the time taken also. Then also we can. This is also a discussion part here. Another part we can use a different mass. Now the bob is used here, metal bob. So different mass if we use. So what is the number of oscillations in the given time? Okay. Then another can be discussed that if you change the shape of also, then now this is a bob is a circular part here, circular object it is. If you use rectangle also block, the time difference also can be calculated. Okay, so this is the part. And is there any method is there so to calculate a timetable other than this?
We will ask, we let, then we will say yes or no. That particular option is good. Now one investigatory part which I wanted to put it up over here, which he was not there last week. That's why investigatory part he could not elaborate. We had given in the class, I said two group, one with a different mass and same constant length of 100 centimeter and one with a varied mass. Okay, those children will have a different data with them. That data will be discussed in the class. Because that data will not match with this. So total number of oscillations when they are taking, suppose we facilitate them and tell them you take it for 20 oscillations and then find out the period for 20 oscillations. You divide it by that. That facilitation will be done in the group and they'll frame the table. Because table part which is there, we will help them. But those two group who will be provided with a different thing, like different in the mass and different in the length, their data will not match with this. So that will be the investigatory part wherein they will come to the conclusion. One more addition to this, that it is not just a period, that period depends on what? Time period depends on what? It is not depending on the mass because 10 centimeter length was given, it was matching with that mass. Different mass, even though it is given, the time period was same. Different length person will say that the time period is vary. So that particular thing will come to only one conclusion over here, that that must be a length which depends on the time period, or time period which depends on the length. In particular, to perform this experiment, definitely we need to facilitate a lot because support should be rigid. The radius of the bob, resistance, air resistance, all this particular thing has to be facilitated, and teacher has to be on toes in the class if they have to.
And the concept which we are going to take here is the relation between the density and the upthrust. How density and upthrust are related. So, for the orientation, we are starting with a story. So students, there was a boy, a small boy, maybe primary section boy, and he was a very lazy one. His mother used to always be after him. That see, apart from studying, you have to learn other activities also. So why don't you go for swimming classes? So she wanted him to learn swimming and all. He was always reluctant. No mom, I don't want to do it. I don't want to learn it. He was very lazy. So one day, they planned a trip, foreign trip. So they decided to go to Jordan for a foreign trip. And he was taken to a place where he saw that people were easily, aramshir, floating and reading newspapers on the water. They were floating on the water and they were reading newspapers and all that stuff. So he told his mom, see mama, they are floating, they are not sinking. So why you are always after me that I should learn swimming? There's no need to learn swimming to float. See, they are doing it easily. His mom kept quiet. Okay? So with
this, I'm just showing you all. So this was the sea where he visited in Jordan. And he saw that people were just floating. So then, after that, he made a trip to India. He visited different places in India. He went for swimming in a hotel swimming pool. He went for some lake swimming. And whenever he visited those places, he was like, I will just go and jump and I'll be floating. So he just went in the swimming pool. His mom was watching there to take care of him. He just went and started swimming and he started drowning. So the lifeguards, those who are there in the swimming pool, just pulled him up. So he went in various places and he started with that concept that we can float on water, we can float on water. But that couldn't be in any other situation. So the question here for you all is, students, in the first case, the boy saw that the people were floating, or himself he tried, he was floating. While in second case, he was drowning. So this is the question for you.
The first phase on orientation, on the conceptualization phase, these two questions will arise in students' mind.
But there can also other questions arise like, why was that in Jordan the people were not sinking? Okay, was it because the water was different? Was it different kind of water? Or is it that the people who are lying on that water and reading the newspaper, are they of less weight? They are very thin people. And then when he jumped in the water, he realized that he is sinking. So maybe the children will ask, maybe that boy had become fat, he had increased his weight and that's the reason why he was sinking. Or there could be questions like whether there was some force acting on the people, on him when he was jumping into the water. Something else pushed him down, and the people who were floating on that other water there in Jordan, nothing was wrong with them, nothing was pushing them down. So all these questions will arise in the child's mind. So now let's investigate to see what are the reasons.
Okay, in investigation, we would give them different solutions, like we would give them, and then they would have to explore it not only with this, with other objects too. For example, we have this. So if you see this would be one exception here. So it would be similar case like this. But adding to this, we could also show a variation not working, an exceptional case like this, wherein we see in both they are floating. So this would also pose a question as not working condition, and what is the reason for the orange is not floating. So here everything floats, here this is sinking, and what would be the reason? Course of investigation, they have to see what is it. So they come up with in the 6th standard they learn heavy objects, they sink, lighter objects float, right? Now here the question is, if this is heavy here, but it is still floating here. Okay, it's still floating here. These are heavy objects which are still floating. What is the reason for that? Okay, other variations could be given, changing mediums like oil also could be given, objects could be given like light and heavy objects for them to investigate what floats, what sinks. Okay, so they would come up with this hypothesis that lighter objects float and heavier objects they sink. Now what could be the reason for this? Can anyone answer the question? Why do oranges float in all the denser and the lighter mediums here? We have two liquid mediums, one is lighter and the other is denser. We have to come up with that. Okay, so what is the reason? Anyone can answer? Why the oranges float in both the mediums? The oranges would be gifted to you if you answer it. Yes? Yes. Yes, why? Yes.
Yes, correct. Yes, correct.
So to conclude, here you can see in this case that lemon is sinking. That is because the density of lemon is more than that of the water. And in the other case, you can see that water is made denser by adding some salt. Okay, so that's why the lemon is floating up. So this is also because of that force is more than the gravitational force, and that is upthrust force.
So now, while she was concluding, she came up with a term upthrust. So the thing is, if the density of the object is more than the liquid, then the object sinks, and there is less upthrust force applied on the object. And if the density of the object is less than the density of the liquid, there is more upthrust applied on the object. So we can say that upthrust is directly proportional to the density of the liquid.
Is conduction of heat for 7th standard. My name is Sonia Gauss. My members are
Minas Khan, Saishma Kamli. Okay, so for orientation we have one small story. Okay, so there was one girl named Ria. One day Ria was watching her mother preparing lunch. Okay, so her mother was preparing rice and curry. So she was stirring the rice with steel spoon and curry with wooden spoon simultaneously. While she was doing this, the doorbell rang suddenly, so she had to rush outside. So after a while, she remembered that she left the spoon in the pot where the rice and curry was cooking. So she went to the kitchen and in a hurry, she tried to take out the spoon from the pots. So when she was taking out the steel spoon, her finger got burnt. So after watching this, Ria got confused. Why my mother's hand got burnt when she touched the steel spoon, while when she was touching the wooden spoon, nothing happened. So the questions, students will be posing certain questions. So why her finger got burnt with the steel spoon and not with the wooden spoon? So the hypothesis would be the materials were different. How the steel spoon became hot? So the steel spoon became hot because of steam.
So this will be the hypothesis. This will be the hypothesis of the students. Now, investigation. What we will be doing is we will be dividing the students into some 5 groups, and we will be giving them some 4 beakers with hot water and 4 different kinds of spoon. One will be wooden, one will be steel, one will be copper, and one will be of plastic. So one beaker with hot water, and all these 4 different spoons will be put in. Now here the variation is we are providing 2 metal spoons. 2 different materials of metals will be given to them, and students will be investigating by dipping these 4 different spoons in that beaker, and they'll be observing which one is getting hot at particular rate, which one is not getting hot, and they'll be coming to a particular conclusion.
So for conclusion, the concept is actually conduction. So student will understand that there is something getting conducted in the hot water, from hot water to the metals or the spoons. In case of metal, the heat is getting conducted as metals are good conductors of electricity, and wood and plastic are poor conductors of electricity, and hence the heat will not be conducted. When we provided variation, so that the students will observe that if we consider copper and silver, the heat conduction in copper will be much faster than steel. And then again the question will arise, why does this happen? The simple answer is the rate of conduction. There will be more free electrons in copper as compared to steel. So this will be
a little complicated for a 7th standard student. So to make it a little more easier or in a easier way, we can tell them that such thing, the conduction happens because there is collision between neighboring molecules in the metals.
That will happen in discussion phase.
Yeah, this will be in the discussion phase.
And for this, to show that there is collision between molecules and thus the heat is conducted, we can show them simulation using Java Lab, where we get heat stimulation
or conduction of the heat from one electron to the other. That can be shown with the help of simulations.
Yeah, one question here is now when you are saying that you are giving water, boiled water, what would be the temperature of that water? Here we have to be very, because you are giving a 7th standard child precautions about they not getting hurt.
Yeah. So we'll be working along with them. It
Yeah.
won't be 100 degrees Celsius, but it will be lesser.
So that care has to be taken because they will touch and see.
Yeah, that's what.
Now here, can it be supplemented by a simulation? The same concept because here it requires there is something where precautions are to be taken. The transfer of heat. But
this can also
if it happens because see, simulations when it can be used when certain lab experiments are not. It is
Not
possible, but
huh.
it happens difficult for a child to do it. And difficult to also where precautions are required. If it is supplemented by a simulation,
Here you can.
yes,
Here
so
you
it will add because there is a conductivity simulation which is available on SimFog.
That's what.
Yes.
That's what.
So that can be supplemented with this. It can be done in the classroom situation, but I felt little bit because see, you are saying with copper the rate is fast, with the steel the rate will not be fast. So that rate, how you can find out? That is a big question.
Yeah, not a part of it.
Yes, and not a part of 7. Only the difference is that
Between the conduction.
conduction.
So this is just a variation which we can see.
So very good try because see the flow is very nice. That it goes from orientation. Questions were very nice, which was there. Inquiry phase was also okay, and conclusion discussion, which was that resulted in a very nice experiment. Only we have to look at only
simulation part and
simulation the precaution. Because when we give temperature is high, then making student to do that experiment may be a little problematic. Thank you.
A very good evening to everyone. Oh my God, no one is paying attention to me. It's not good evening right now. It's good afternoon. So I was just in the next class when you all were having this class over here on magical, what was that? Magical house. So I decided to come along with a magical bulb. So in the orientation part, we will show a magical bulb, and what happens is it has two ends. The magical bulb has two ends. So in case 1, what will happen is the bulb will glow when we touch the end of its ends to a tip of a scissor. Similarly, in case 2, the bulb does not glow when touched with this particular tape. So it's magic, right? So it's a magical bulb. For conceptualization, why the bulb glows? And second question maybe, why the bulb glows when touched by the scissor? Third, why the bulb does not glow when touched by the tape? So hypothesis for this is answer. There must be some particles which makes the bulb glow. Bulb glows because of electricity.
So conceptualization, they will hypothesize and they have the basic idea of the components which makes the bulb glow. Like for example, battery or cell, wire and a bulb. So bulb will not glow directly. We have to supply with some source, that will be the battery or cell, and bulb will glow only when there will be a closed path. So the current will flow and the bulb will glow. So we will show them with this circuit. They know, they will be having previous idea, previous topic will be discussed about components and how to connect, prepare a simple closed circuit, open circuit, and we will show them, and we will make the group of 4 and provide them with this battery or cell, wire and a bulb. And now they will construct a circuit, or they will connect a circuit, and they will try with the material that they have in their compass box or in their bag. They will try with some different material. For example, if you take a compass box, they will try with pencil, whether the bulb glows or not. Then, yes, then they will take a pointer, and they will investigate in which material the bulb glows and in which material bulb does not glow. And after doing investigation, they will come to the conclusion that some materials, for example, pointer, the metal plate, a sharpener, blade, with that, when they were testing with this material, the bulb was glowing. So if they check with the material that with which bulb was glowing was metals, so they will conclude that metals are they will allow the flow of electric current and the bulb will glow. So they are called as conductors, whereas the material which does not allow the flow of current in the closed path, those will be called as insulators.
So in the discussion parts, students will understand that the bulb glows only when the circuit is complete, and the circuit can be complete with all the metallic metals when they were tested with the metals, whereas conductors are materials that allow the flow of electric current, and insulators, they do not, they inhibit stop the flow of electric current. So there could be some examples for conductors are like gold, silver, aluminium. All these objects can conduct electricity, whereas insulators, example rubber, wood or pencil, plastic, are not conducting electricity. So thank you.
Okay, we are now breaking for lunch.